In a dry landscape known for its deserts lies a city surrounded by lakes and lush green mountains. A city still filled with the rich culture of Rajasthan, yet so different it feels like another state. Let's explore Udaipur.
Welcome to the last leg of our journey in Rajasthan.
We began our trip across Rajasthan in Jaipur, where we got to experience royalty firsthand. The endless palaces, the stunning pink walls and picture-perfect places were a delight. Next, we got to see the vibrant culture of Jodhpur, the blue city that was more than just its strikingly colorful walls. And then we traveled into the desert of Jaisalmer for an absolutely otherworldly experience. From there, we took a bus back to Jodhpur and then hopped onto a flight to Udaipur. Make note that Udaipur has no train stations.
Today we're in Udaipur, which is popularly known as the White City, and also a city that has plenty of beautiful lakes.
So far we've noticed that there are a lot of tourists walking around, a lot of foreign tourists as well. We have seen that this is a place where people come for more luxurious holidays, but we're more interested in seeing what else there is to the city.
Our journey in Udaipur began with a walk to Gangori Ghat. This is one of the main banks of Lake Pichola, one of several beautiful lakes that makes this city so different from others in Rajasthan. Here we admired the beauty of the White City. It was the perfect welcome to Udaipur.
So we are at a rooftop cafe right now, and there are plenty of these cafes around this lake called Pichola Lake, and the view from top is just amazing.
Next we stopped by at the famous Jagdish Temple. This temple is located right at the center of the main Udaipur market road. Unfortunately, a large part of it was under construction, but we were still able to catch a glimpse of its magnificent detail. Over the centuries, Lake Pichola has become more than just a lake. It is the beating heart of Udaipur and provides a backdrop to life in the city. In the evening, we made our way to a charming restaurant with a lovely view of the lake and city lights, where we enjoyed a delicious candlelit meal.
We just finished a wonderful dinner at this nice restaurant. The city actually lights up at about 6:30 to 7, and it's very beautiful in the evening. So we decided to head out and explore a little bit more.
You can see from where we were sitting in the restaurant, it's very lively. There's lots of DJs playing, live music. The city really comes to life at night, and you can also hear all the different temples with prayers and the mosques calling for prayers as well. So we can see that people definitely come here also for the nightlife.
Although it is one of Rajasthan's largest cities, Udaipur still manages to retain a charming small town vibe. While walking around the narrow old city streets, you can see how each alley is lined with shops selling a variety of Rajasthani crafts. Many of the buildings here are adorned in elaborate decorative tiles, which adds to the feeling of being in a city of luxury.
Good morning. So this morning we have gone to the city palace. It is actually the biggest palace in Rajasthan.
We got here at 9 o'clock. We read that it opens at 9:30, but actually we were let in, so we're not actually sure when it opens.
The city palace was built in the 16th century by the Sisodia Rajputs, who ruled over the then bigger Mewar kingdom. Greeted with the majestic green gardens and a towering white facade, we couldn't help but be in awe of how grand it was. The entire city palace compound was built over the span of 22 generations of the Sisodiya Rajputs and connects 11 palaces. Each palace joined by zigzagging tunnels which were specifically designed to evade any surprise attacks from enemies.
As we're walking around the palace, I'm noticing that out of all the palaces we've been to, I think this is the most tourist friendly in a way of showing the history. There are lots of paintings depicting what it was like during that time. There's lots of statues of the kings and when they were alive and when they ruled. So from that point of view, there's so much more information than any of the other palaces have offered us, which makes it quite nice as a tourist because you really get to better understand what this palace is about.
This beautiful courtyard is uniquely blue, made from tiles that were bought by the Chinese and the Dutch. The palace took over 400 years to build, and one can see why. Built in granite and marble, City Palace shows a fantastic blend of medieval, European, and even Chinese styles of architecture. From the 1,000 windows of the palace, one can get glimpses into different parts of life in Udaipur.
This place is actually very detailed and there are very clear instructions on how you're supposed to navigate around. And if you see behind me, there are a lot of signs like this. So I don't actually think you need a guide to know your way around. It's pretty clear, and there are a lot of signboards as well, so you won't really get lost.
A part of the inner courts of the palace, Moor Chalk or Peacock Square, was built about 200 years later than the initial establishment of the palace. There are 3 main peacocks comprised of over 5,000 pieces of glass, which represent the 3 seasons in Udaipur: summer, winter, and monsoon.
So we just finished exploring the city palace. It took us about an hour and a half, I would say. And yeah, it's a very impressive palace actually. Exploring a lot of forts and palaces, and after a while they all start looking the same. But this place actually really stood out, I think.
It's quite a big palace, so there's a lot of walking involved and a lot of steps, but they have fans throughout the palace, so it actually makes it quite comfortable to walk around. You don't actually feel like you're getting hot, and you really get to enjoy all the displays they have. They've really well displayed like daily life. Like they'll show the simple things, how they would weigh themselves, how the royals would eat, very simple aspects of the daily life, which made it quite interesting to see.
Yeah, we didn't see these parts before because we'd see some guns or swords and stuff like that in other palaces, but here like they have shown a lot of other things that was quite surprising to see actually.
Yeah, like utensils, combs,
yeah, so
things that make the royal family a bit more human or like relatable.
Yeah, I think it was quite a well-designed experience.
We would definitely say you should come check it out if you're in Udaipur.
It's another day, another rooftop. We're here enjoying some nice coffee after our visit to the city palace. And yeah, the weather is actually very, very pleasant. It's about 30 degrees. It's probably been months that we have faced temperature that's below 30, so it just feels amazing. And we're just gonna chill and enjoy the view. There are a variety of restaurants and rooftop cafes along the lake. And in fact, many of them serve good food.
After a delicious lunch, we ventured through the city streets again, admiring the intricate artwork as we made our way back to the city palace. Here, we were going to try out a popular way to explore Udaipur.
We have come to the city palace to do a boat tour on the lake. It's always recommended that when you come to Udaipur, you should take a boat on one of the lakes, so we're really excited.
Yeah, and there are actually many different options for boating. There are quite a lot of private boating agencies, but we decided to try out the government one. So what you do is you can actually get the boating tickets at the city palace itself, and they cost us 530 in total. But after 3 p.m. the prices go up to I think about 800 because then it's the sunset tour.
So the tickets for the boat are actually 2 postcards. So once you finished and they've taken the ticket part, I guess you get to take home 2 postcards, which is quite a cool way to remember your trip by.
The boat ride was an enjoyable way to get a perfect panoramic view of the lively city. We enjoyed the boat ride in the gentle breeze accompanied by the beautiful blue waters. Udaipur is a landscape vastly different from the other places in Rajasthan. No longer a desert, but rather a land surrounded by lakes and mountains, Udaipur offers a pleasant change in scenery. In total, it has 7 lakes that flank the city, thereby leading to its nickname, the City of Lakes.
So the boat has dropped us off at an island called Jagmandir. It was a palace in the 17th century.
The boat ride I think was very nice. I think it took about 20 minutes in total, and it drops you here and you can spend as much time as you want. Every 20 minutes there are boats that are going back, so you could choose any one of these to complete a full boat ride.
Yeah, so once you're on the island, there's a restaurant where you can eat or like just have coffee. There's also a hotel here from my understanding. I mean, they have this most beautiful garden where you can just spend some time relaxing.
I would say that if you want some quiet time in Udaipur, you could definitely do this boat ride and spend some time on this island, enjoy the breeze and look at the lake and the views of the white city.
Rajasthan is a land of art and culture. In the past, we had heard the beautiful folk musical artists in Jodhpur. This evening, it was our turn to catch a glimpse of another one of Rajasthan's most important art forms, its dance.
So we've come to a cultural performance now this evening. It's a family of artists who have been performing since they were children in folk dance and music.
Yeah, if I'm not wrong, they have a show every day from 7 to 8 p.m. And actually it's right by the city palace area, so we thought we'd come and check it out.
Yeah, it's our first paid performance, so we're quite excited.
We started with the Kathputli or puppet dance. These colorful hand-painted string puppets are a fine example of this ancient and popular form of folk entertainment. The rhythmic movements of the wooden puppets depict popular stories and historical scenes.
Rajasthani folk dance has been part of Rajasthan's history throughout centuries. An art form loved by the kings and still valued to this day, it is a wonder of Rajasthan that you can't miss if you visit here. This dance called Ghumar is one of the most famous dances in Rajasthan. It is performed by veiled women in bright flowing traditional dresses known as ghagras. We also got to see the Kalbelia or snake charmer dance. This is done by the women of the Kalbelia tribe as they imitate the movements of a snake. Another memorable dance was the Bhavai dance, where the women balanced multiple clay pots on their heads while dancing. Their graceful movements left the local and foreign audience mesmerized. What a beautiful celebration of a big part of Rajasthan's culture.
I feel so proud to see this cultural heritage that the people of our country and especially Rajasthan can portray it in this way. I just feel very proud, and again, like, huge congrats to the team of Rajasthan.
Just finished watching the cultural show and it was absolutely amazing. What I really enjoyed about the show is as much as it's a performance, it's also like teaches you a little bit about the history, like where each dance comes from, what the meaning behind each dance is. It was just amazing. The women were fantastic.
Yeah, I think it's just mind-blowing. Like, I was amazed to see the quality, the skills, and also like how passionate they are about what they're doing. It's just something you have to see if you come to Udaipur. So we've just finished exploring Udaipur, and this brings to an end our 1 month trip in Rajasthan.
It's been amazing getting to end it in Udaipur. It's a much more relaxed city than the other cities we've been to. Also, the weather's a lot cooler, so it's been very pleasant and the perfect place to just enjoy a bit of downtime. There's also a lot of culture and monuments if you want to see that sort of thing as well, but then there's many rooftops and restaurants right by the lake where you can go and relax.
If you enjoyed this week's video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more travel-filled content. After exploring busy north and western India, we are now headed to the tropics. Stay tuned!